First up on the chopping block, it's the 1G Roots of Wisdom. Mill 3 cards, return a land card or elf card from graveyard to hand. If you can't, draw a card. Okay, one down. Next. Jorn, God of Winter, and Kaldheim, the Rhyme Staff. Sultai card, huh? Oh, Sultai cards are scary. Okay. 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever Jorn attacks, untap each snow permanent you control. Whenever Jorn attacks, untap all of your lands. Wait, and also untap Jorn. Jorn has Vigilance, right? To be fair though, you're not gonna... So how many snowlands will you be able to play in Sultai? It actually won't be that many, right? It will be like way less than half your lands. Yeah, I mean the Snow Jewel lands are tapped though, guys. Who cares about Sultai? Just play it in mono green. One moment. I need to scratch my beard. Who cares about Sultai? Just play it in mono green. A valid point. A very valid point. And then all of your lands are snow lands, right? Or most of them anyway. Not chonky enough for mono green. Dude, what do you mean not chonky enough for mono green? If this thing attacks once, it costs 0 mana. Therefore, you're also going to be playing the other 3-drop anyway. Dude, this guy's completely nuts. And that's just the first half. We've not read the second half yet, but we're kind of coming to the conclusion that this is a mono green card and that the second part of the card doesn't exist. So it's a 3 mana artifact. You may play target snow permanent card from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield tapped. That is also really good. You can play lands, guys. I mean, it depends how good the non-land snow permanents are. You're not going to put this in your deck as a basic land Crucible of Worlds, but if there's other permanent snow permanents that you might want, thing's gas in it. Yeah, if you play the artifact, you can use the artifact to get your Jorn back, huh? Is it Jorn or Yorn? It's gotta be Yorn, right? It's got to be Yorn. Yorn Snow. God of Winter. Ah, Jorn Snow. Yes, okay. So it is Jorn. It's fucking Jon Snow, my bud. It's not Jon Snow, man. Jon Snow doesn't run around with a rat. He runs around with a cute dog. That's a rat, right? Looks like a rat. Alright, what do we think about this card, guys? So, for a Sultai deck, it really depends how many snow lands you can play, which I suspect would actually be not too many. So, that might mean that this is either a Dimir artifact or a mono green creature. And you can't really play both sides in the same deck, which is okay, right? I don't think a Dimir artifact would be played, but maybe it's just gas, I don't know. I mean, the text on that creature is so goddamn crazy. Is it good on curve chat? Yes. Is it good in the late game chat? Yes. Does that make a creature good? Yes. Yup. Good in Gruul? Well, again, like, Gruul opens up the same problems as playing Sultai does, right? You end up with a lot of lands that are not snow lands. And that's not by choice, that's a forced situation. Because you have to play Jolands. And you can't play tapped snowlands in your Gruul deck. Gruul will still have a decent number of basics, yes, but a lot of non-basics, whereas mono green can just play 4 mammoths and 20 snow forests. And then this card is untapping every land that you play. Interesting card. Like, it's super good. Whether it will be used in Sultai or not entirely depends on the mana base for Sultai. I do think that this creature goes in mono green though. Read comments. It smells like it has combo potential. Regardless of that, it's cool. Probably a big snow payoff. I especially like that it allows you to get either cards to spend your mana or mana to cast more cards. Genius. I especially like that this card does what the card says. I don't think you're supposed to say I especially like and then name every single thing that the card does. I especially like is normally followed with a part of the card, you know? I especially like this bit. Skadi, is that you? Who is Skadi? The only thing I know Skadi from is Dota XD. Norse god. Skadi's a Norse god. It's also an item in Dota, innit? Cardur's Vicious Return. 2 black, red. You may sack a creature. When you do, deal 3 damage to any target. Okay. Each player discards a card. Okay. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until your next turn. Each player discards a card. Ugh. Why each player? You can also only res from your graveyard, not from the opponent's. This seems like a little bit not quite good enough, guys. It is a 4-mana card though, and 4-mana sack cards suck. 4-mana Rakdos cards suck. But you're competing against a Crow in War, Liliana, Rankle. Are you playing this instead? I don't think so. I don't think so. Warstorm Surge, 5 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Next. Revive the Draugr. 2 mana. Return creature from graveyard to hand. Return 2 creatures that share creature type from graveyard to hand. Nope. Tibalt's Trickery. 1 and a red. Counter target spell. One and a red. Instant speed. Counter target spell. Okay. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles cards from the top of Tahir library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library in any order. Okay. I'm a little bit sad, but this card sucks dick. This card is absolutely crazy. If you're playing mono red and you have 4 power on the battlefield and your opponent's on 4 life, and then you top deck this card. If it's in your opening hand, it's bad. If you draw at any point before that, it's bad. It's only good if it is the card that you top deck on the turn that you're about to win. Therefore, it's dog shit. Fine against Gandalf decks? Nope. Not fine. You can counter your own stuff? Oh my god, that's crazy. Let's counter our own creature, and then we can exile cards from the top of our deck until we exile another creature, and then we can cast that creature. So for the small price of a creature's mana cost, plus 2 mana for this, plus 2 cards, we can then cast a different creature at random for free. Turn to Eugene. I mean, is turn 2 Eugene possible? Well, you'd have to cast a 0 mana card, right? And counter it. This is ban material. I mean, this card seems like it could be really strong in older formats, but it's not going to be good in standard or historic, man. Just play Thopter and counter it into Eugene. Okay, man. In older formats, in older formats, you can counter your opponent's stuff sometimes, right? Especially if they're using, if it's like ramp payoffs or whatever. It's an interesting card, guys. I can't lie to you, but I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see a way to counter your own stuff without making your deck terrible, and I don't see a way to counter your opponent's stuff without losing the game. In standard and historic. It might be okay in sideboards for combo decks, but there just isn't really any combo decks, man, either. Counter your own stuff in response to opponent's counter spell. But I mean, that's just the same as playing the card, right? I don't know.
Postpone zone.
Like, that is so incredibly narrow, and even then I don't think it's that good. Red counters, yeah, it's an interesting card, man, because there's like a massive downside, but it's a type of downside that you can turn into your favor somehow. There must be a way to, right? There must be a way. Archon of Emiria. Well, why is that good though? Magistrate? Well, I mean, yeah, but like, it stays exiled for the whole game, right? So it's once they kill the magistrate, they can play the card.
This is great banter. It really is.
Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library in a random order. So you have to cast it immediately, huh? But I don't understand. Like, what if you use this counter on your own turn? Like, this wording is so dumb. Vortex deals 5 if they cast their card, yeah. There has to be a way to make this good, man. There has to be. I don't think there's going to be a way to like completely avoid the downside, and sometimes this card will cost you the game. But there's got to be a way to make this card like most of the time be just a 2-mana counter essentially. Maybe there's good ideas in the comments. White. Can we please have some card draw? Or maybe some ramp? Or literally anything to help us better define ourselves as a unique colour? What, like card draw and ramp? You add card draw and ramp to a colour and that makes it more unique. What? What? Does this mean I can have a deck with nothing but Relentless Rats and one Emrakul in Modern? Huh? Card is weird, I agree. I wouldn't call this good or even playable, but it is fun. I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit might be bonkers. This shit might be bonkers. We're gonna have to come back to that one. I could sit there all day thinking about that. Diving Gambit. White sorcery. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment an opponent controls. That player may put a permanent card from their hand onto the battlefield. What? I mean, this card sucks, right? Completely. But again, is there a matchup where it could be good? You know? I mean, there are plenty of decks that don't play a lot of permanents, you know? There's plenty of decks that spew out their hand and they don't have anything in their hand to bring onto the battlefield. So I actually don't think this is as bad as it sounds at first glance. This is bad most of the time, but in some matchups, this card could be really good. I actually think this is a decent sideboard card. If there is a deck out there that you play against, like a really fast deck, most of the time is where it's best, right? But the problem with using it against a really fast deck is that a 2-mana removal is actually not even that good. It is a weird one, man. I'm leaning more towards nope. Toralf, God of Fury. 4 mana, red boy. 5/4 Trampler. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Toralf deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. I don't know what that means, man. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage. Excess non-combat damage. Okay, I mean this card sucks, right? Or at least that side of it is trash. Alright, Toralf's Hammer. Equipped creature has 1 red, tap unattached Toralf's Hammer. It deals 3 damage to any target. Return Toralf's Hammer to its owner's hand.
It means your shock is 4.
+3/+0 as long as it's legendary. 2 to play it, 2 to equip it. Okay, this thing sucks. Six mana deal 3? Well, I mean, yeah, sure, if you look at it that way, but it's the legendary. Your creature has to be legendary to use the weapon, right? So that's something that's it just locks you into a bad deck. Doesn't auto equip, yeah. And the creature side is just utter dog shit. The creature side is gigabad. Next. Kardur Doomskar Krieger. Kardur Doomscourge. 2 black-red, legendary creature, Demon Berserker. When Kardur Doomscourge enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able and attack a player other than you if able. Whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Nope. Sturts des Empercomlings. 1 green and a white. Enchantment Saga. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. And then do that again. And then exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. So counter, counter, removal. Nope. Nope. Boreal Outrider. 2G, Snow Creature, Elf Warrior. 3 mana, 3/2. Whenever you cast a creature, if... What? Whenever you cast a creature spell, if snow of any of that spell's colours was spent to cast it, that creature enters the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counter on it. If snow. Alright, that thing sucks, sadly. Open the Omen Paths, 2 red instant, choose one, add 2 mana of any one colour and 2 mana of any other colour. Spend this mana only to cast creature or enchantment spells. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Yikes. Dogged Pursuit. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yep, we've had that card before. Rune of Aviation. Enchantment Aura Rune. Rune card. Enchant permanent. When Rune of Aviation enters the battlefield, draw a card. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it has flying. As long as enchanted permanent is an equipment, it has equipped creature has flying. So a rune is like an addition, a buff to an equipment. And it looks like you can also just put them on creatures. Put it on Barons. Flying Barons. I don't know, guys. It's just whether or not do you play it in the Auras deck in Historic. I mean, Auras already has 1 mana give flying, right? It also has 2 mana give flying and draw a card. Maybe this is better than that though. It's a second way to give flying on Azorius. Don't they already have 2? They've already got a 1 mana spell that's +1/+1 in flying, right? It's just the same as those cards, I guess. Terrorgrid Shadow. 5 mana instant. Each player sacks 2 creatures. Meh. Run ashore. Choose one or both. 6 mana instant. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Nope. Blood Sky Berserker. 2 mana 1/1. Human Berserker. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. It gains menace until end of turn. Nope. Death Knell Berserker, 1 black. Elf Berserker. 2 mana 2/2. When it dies, if it had power 3 or greater, create a 2/2 token. Nope. There's Rise of the Dreadmarn. Morit of the Frost. Moriti. Moritai. Morite. Morite. Moriti. Morit. 2G blue legendary snow creature shapeshifter changeling. You may have Morit of the Frost enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow in addition to its other types, and if it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it and has changeling. copy of permanent you control. 5 mana. There's just nothing to do with that, huh? I mean, we have 4 mana versions of this card and they don't see play. Some of them even cost 3. Bloodline Pretender. Colorless Shapeshifter. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever another creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodline Pretender. I mean, we kind of have a 2 mana version of this, right? Except it gives counters to all the other creatures. The Mimic. That is not bad. This card is awful, mate. Sadly. Lityara Kinseekers. 4 mana 2/4 changeling. When it enters the battlefield, if you control 3 or more creatures that share a creature type, put a +1/+1 counter on Lityara Kinseekers, then scry 1. 4 mana 3/5 scry 1. Nope. Guardian Gladewalker. 2 mana green changeling. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Nope. Hadji Mob. 5 mana 5/4, boast for 2, deal 1 to any target. Nope. Kaya's Onslaught. Uncommon 2 white instant. +1/+1. And double strike until end of turn. Foretell 1. Nope. This is not bad. Nah, this thing sucks, right? This thing sucks. It's not trash. I mean, it is trash. Like, you go, what? How can this be good? Double strike your Mauler. This thing sucks, guys. Faceless Haven. Snowland. Tap, add colorless. For 3 snow, Faceless Haven becomes a 4/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types until end of turn. It's still a land. That seems fucking strong. Am I reading it wrong? Colorless, and then for 3 it's a 4/3 vigilance and all creature types. Dude, that thing is insane. Vigilance doesn't matter? How does it not matter? You can attack with this and then use colorless mana after combat to cast a spell. How does it not matter? Of course it matters. Or tap for the mana in combat, yeah. It gets pumped by your lords if you're playing a tribal deck, yeah. I mean, this is the best card we've seen in the whole set, right? By far. Or at least I feel like it will be the most widely played card that we've seen in the whole set. Better Barons. Probably. I mean, it has to be better than Barons did. You've got your Barons cost 1 more mana to activate. Your Barons has to be pumped 3 times before it's better than this. And even on the turn that your Barons is a 6/6, it's not necessarily better than a 4/3 with Vigilance. This is like way better than Barons, I think. Obviously, it's not going to be better than Barons in every spot, but I think it's going to be better than Barons in more spots than Barons is going to be better than this. Monocolored decks? I mean, I think you can play this in 2-color decks too, right? Maybe. Maybe not though. This thing's gas, man. Mono black, mono red, mono green, mono white. It's just insane in all 4 of those decks, isn't it? It's an insta 4 of. I don't know if you'll be able to squeeze it into any 2-color decks. Maybe... My initial impression is probably not. But that just might make 2-color aggressive decks like obsolete from the start. That they're not able to play cards like this. Why the fuck? Why would you play a 2-color deck when you can just play 1 color and use this card? Because not only, like, in 2-color decks you have to go to the hassle of... You already have to go to the hassle of playing fucking Temples or Triomes. And now there's also the opportunity cost of not getting to play this. Can you play 20 Snow Forests? I think you can, man, yeah. But I think, like, mono green, for example, I think that you would play, what, 16 Snow Forests, 4 of this, and 4 Mammoths? Easy. Easy. This card is mad strong. Well, there wouldn't be space for Symbiosis in the deck, right? You can't. I don't think you can play 12 forests or 12 snow sources. This thing is gasoline. Best card we've saw so far. Including Snowlands? Yeah, so even if you draw like 2 copies of this, you can use 2 copies of that land. You can use the second one to pay to attack with the first one, right? So it's not a particularly bad thing to draw multiple copies of it. Oh yeah, we need to see the comments of the land, huh? Only 17 comments? What? Excellent art. Bruv. There's so much to say about this card. Excellent art. I mean, the art is nice though, to be fair. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Nice. Is this the win con that control decks needed to become tier 1? But, I mean, control decks can't play it, can they? Nope. I mean, I guess you can play it, like, you can play it in mono white Yorion. I'm not saying that you can play this in 2 colours, guys. Maybe you can. But 2 colours needs Temple or Triome or both. It needs, like... Seems like a scam. I also agree with you, Zukriya. I do not think that Control uses this as its win con. I think that Control faces this as its lose con. What? Of course you can. You can't judge snow cards if you've never played with snow. Well, if that is your belief, then what the fuck are you doing here watching me judge them? What the hell are you doing here if that's what you think? It makes no sense. So, I mean, obviously the only factor in whether or not you can play this in your deck or not is... Well, there's 2 factors. 1, how much colourless land can your deck get away with playing? And 2, how many snow basics, or basics basically, can you play without your deck being shit? And that is why obviously 1 colour is fine, and maybe 2 colours is fine. But I do think that 2 colours would not be fine. Like, at least to play the full 4 copies. Maybe you can play 1 or 2, right? There are Snow Joes. I know there's Snow Joes, man, but they're fucking tap lands, dude. So they basically don't exist. So are Temples and Triomes. Yes, but they also have an additional effect. That's why you can play them, right? And you don't like playing them, that's the thing.
Dope.
So are Temples and Triomes, both of which you said needed to be played, so what is the difference? You're asking me what is the difference between a tapped Snow Joe land and a Triome? What do you mean, what is the difference, man? One says snow on it, and the other one says cycling 3 on it. That's the difference. I mean, you don't need me to explain that to you. You know that's what the difference is. What is the difference between 0 scry and 1 scry? I'm not sure. Let's continue. There's nothing to continue to, man. We're done. We've seen all the other cards. It's over. I'm just farming minutes on my stream. You guys have been farmed. Refresh? Okay. I'll do that. Just for you, chat. refresh. What have we got here? Ooh, new card. Axeguard Cavalry. 1 red creature, Dwarf Berserker. Tap. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Riding the Goat. A dwarven expression meaning a foolhardy act of bravery. Can target itself. True. True. Alright, chat. That's the end of the cards. So, in conclusion, this guy is gas. This thing, I believe, is too slow. This thing is... I still don't know. Maybe the Gambit. This thing sucks. These are all the commons. And these all suck too, huh? And the land is utter gasoline. Missed a card? I didn't miss a card, man. I didn't miss a card. Can we talk about our Lord and Savior Jorn? We've already spoke about him. I mean, he's good, right? But I wouldn't be surprised to see this card just get played in mono green, man, is what we were saying about this. I think we might just pretend that the other side doesn't exist. I'm hyped about this card. I'm hyped about the land. What else? What else are we hyped about? Let me tell you. Rally the ranks. Jorn. The land. Rally the ranks. Tyvar Kell. Old Growth Troll. Valky / Tibalt. Runeforged Champion. Righteous Valkyrie. Is that the Menace one? I think that Menace this Menace Saga is like really good. But from what we saw so far, it's an almost certainty that the Berserker deck is going to suck. Just not enough good ones. This one is really interesting to me. Battle for Bretagard. It'll be a fun one to try and make that good. This thing is absolute gas. Showdown of the Scalds. You might have missed one. I missed the card next to the Manland. This guy? Now we looked at him yesterday, man. He sucks. The Draugr Necromancer. No love for Quakebringer. You see, a lot of the cards are decent, man. Like the ones that I was saying I'm hyped for, those are not the only cards that I think are good. Those are just the ones that I'm most excited to play with. Quakebringer is like, it's okay, man, yeah, but it's just for a giant deck, right? The card is cool. If the giant deck is good, I will very much enjoy playing with this card. Yes, but I'm a little bit concerned for the giant deck, honestly. A little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned for all of the tribal decks, really, because there's a ton of different shapeshifters that we've saw so far, and they're all shit, man. I guess the problem with having a good shapeshifter is it just goes in every fucking deck, doesn't it? The Realm guy? Is that even good though? Where is it? Realm. Where are you, lad? Realm Walker. It's too expensive, man. Snoop Shifter. I don't know. It is okay though. It's the best one. It's the only one approaching good, but it's slow AF, innit? 3 mana Snip not playable, but it's not even as good as a 3 mana Snip, man. My problem with this card is it's a 2/3. It doesn't, for its mana cost, it doesn't affect the board. So it's just a pure value card, basically. And but it's not terrible. But it's okay, man. I don't think it's great. Also, it's green, right? So, like, of the tribal decks, which ones are... Elves are the only ones that's going to play green, right? You have Giants, that's no green. The Dwarf deck has no green. Angels will have no green. Yeah, it's only Elves, right? Elves could be good though, maybe. Alright, chat. I'm gonna go get some dinner, man. It's 9:30 in the bloody evening. I need to eat. I haven't eaten all day. Could you re-review Tergrid? Okay. Which one's that? And we'll do that quickly. What colours is it and what mana is it? And I might be able to remember. Who the hell's Tergrid? Black God? Black God? Wait, which one's that? Oh, this thing's trash, man. Whenever an opponent sacks a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Both sides are bad, right? You can't even do any cheesy stuff with the lantern to do upkeep discard or whatever because your opponent just pays 3 life. Or draw step discard, I mean. Both sides are bad, so the card's bad, right? The two-sided cards that are good are the ones that have one side which is good, even if the other one is bad, right? So like this one. This artifact side is super slow, and basically that means it's bad. But you can either play Jorn in a mono green deck, or if you're playing Sultai and you want to play this green creature, I'm sure the situation will come up sometimes where the artifact side is good. But you have to have one side be good. You can't. Both sides cannot be okay. There has to be one good side, or else you can't play it. That's why I think this one here, Kolvori, like both sides of this are okay. But I think this card's bad, man. Because there's no like good side to play every game, you know? Like this thing, I think you would end up playing the artifact side more often, huh? And this is just like a very medium 2 mana rock. This blue one is interesting because like I don't think either side of this one is particularly good, but I'm not sure, man. This one is decent though. Is it good enough? I'm not sure, but this one's definitely decent. This random common is like low-key in the top 3 cards of the set so far. Masked Vandal. I actually didn't know this was a shapeshifter, by the way, until right now. That's kind of relevant. That is incredibly relevant, actually. Nico really good? Yeah, I think Nico's really good too. Alright chat, I'm out, man. Good night. Peace out, homies. See ya.